Yo, what's poppin', ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video filled with enough content to make you dangerous versus the sportsbook. I'm Sports Dave, creator of SportBook Buddy, and I put in that hard work necessary to make you knowledgeable, confident, and Vegas strong versus your sportsbook. I team up with different handicappers to kind of pick their brains and offer their best picks and insights as to why they like certain actions on today's game. Now, today's Tuesday, August 20th, and I'll be covering these four games that are happening in the major leagues. So we're going with the Phillies and Red Sox game, the Indians and Mets game, Brewers and Cardinals game, and Yankees versus Athletics game. I point this out now because this is some time-sensitive information, and if you're watching this video on any other day, obviously it's not gonna do you much good unless you're watching it just strictly for entertainment purposes. So keep in mind that all this information comes to you absolutely free. It's only meant to help you make your own decisions, and you're welcome to follow or fade any of these picks. I only ask two things: keep your comments positive on here, and please share my videos. So yesterday was a solid day. We picked some pretty good games. We went 3-2. There was definitely some good solid value, and hopefully you pick your spots carefully. Now, our best pick was the Kansas City Royals at plus 120. Today, we're going to try and build off of that and put a little more dough in your bread box. As, we try and basically look for the sharpest edge to help you take a stab against your sports book. So, let's begin in Boston, where we have two teams struggling to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Phillies are actually sitting 2 games outside of the wild card spot right now, and the Red Sox are going to need a little help because, they're sitting 6 games out of the wild card spot at the moment. Aaron Nola's taking the hill for the Phillies tonight, and of late, Nola's actually looked like an ace for the Phils. And my boy Ricardo Pimentel is going to take the Phillies on the first 5 innings. They're actually sitting at minus 125, and he pointed out that Aaron Nola is actually 16-4 on first 5 inning bets this season with 6 pushes. On the other hand, I got my boy Rich Dollars, who's going to side with the Red Sox on this game, but he's going the whole game. At the moment, Boston's riding a 5-game winning streak, and Rich is actually thinking that they're going to make it 6 in a row. So the Red Sox are actually hitting like a team on the mission right now, and while Rich does acknowledge that Nola has pitched well as of late, he's also kind of counting on that Phillies bullpen to come unhinged later on in the game. He also mentioned that one of the biggest outliers that jumped out at him was that when he calculated the odds, he had the Red Sox at plus 115, and yet they're sitting at minus 106, kind of suggesting that the odds makers are trying to limit the damage of, or if, the Red Sox win this game. Now, most people will probably look at this pitching matchup and side with the Phillies, and if you're looking at Brian Johnson versus Aaron Nola, it does seem that way. But Rich Dollars is smelling a trap here, so he's predicting that the Red Sox take this game. Now, if you checked out my video yesterday, we had a similar thing happen with the Royals and Orioles game. We had one set of guys that wanted to take the Orioles in the first 5, and another set that took the Royals. Both bets hit, so let's hope we can get a little bit of deja vu today. So before I delve into this next pick, I'll talk a little bit about strategy. Some people like to base their decisions based off of where the money's actually flowing. And if you always keep in mind that the house always wins, well, you may want to consider fading the public. So a perfect example is going to take place tonight in New York, where there's a healthy amount of money that's actually flowing towards the Indians tonight. The line opened with the Indians at minus 135, and with about 75% of the action flowing towards the Indians, that line has actually gone up to minus 145. I actually have 2 friends in Del Warfield of Warfield Elite and Teddy Clark of Fade Familia that are taking the Mets tonight. And they're taking them mostly because you're getting the Mets at plus 135, and they subscribe to that mindset of fading the public. Now, Del also mentioned that it looked like a good spot to fade Shane Bieber tonight. And Teddy mentioned that he likes the matchup of Steven Matz taking the hill for the Mets tonight. And with good reason. Matz actually faced these same Indians earlier this season, and he pitched an absolute gem, going 7 innings without allowing a single run. Another thing that I would point out is that this game is being played in a National League park, which means they're going to be playing by National League rules, so the DH goes out the door, and I think that kind of gives a slight advantage to the Mets as well. So the recommendation on this game is take the Mets at plus 135. Now, we're going to go back to St. Louis, where the Brewers are going to try and remember to bring their bats tonight. Because last night, it was like they were swinging with some fly swatters. Yesterday, they were shut out completely by Daniel Hudson and the Cardinals bullpen. Ben Leone is kind of counting on the Brewers to break out tonight and, come out big against Michael Wacha. He's taking the Brew Crew at -110 based on an expected bounce back day, and also the fact that Wacha has not had a good season at all. Although Wacha did pitch pretty well in his last start, he expects the Brewers to erupt for some runs against him. However, I have a couple differing opinions. I got Del Warfield. He's also going to be taking the Cardinals tonight. He basically spotted the line movement going from one team being favored to the other team being favored. And, I think that he's basically backing what the odds makers are playing with. My buddy Craig Isles is also going to take the Cards based on the fact that Milwaukee's bullpen has been getting taxed and Gio Gonzalez has only been averaging about 4 innings of work. So this pick is kind of a split decision, and I have Ben taking Brewers at -110, and I got Dell and Craig siding with the Cardinals at -110. So this bet really is kind of a pick 'em. And the late night game out here on the West Coast is going to be between the Yankees and the Oakland Athletics. The Yankees are coming off of a loss. Now, when your record is 83-43, usually that means that you don't lose many back-to-back games, which is why we have unanimous decision on picking the Yankees tonight. My buddy Jesse Wansbro, my buddy Nick Shinta, and yours truly are all going to take the Yankees tonight, with Domingo Germán taking the hill. The Athletics will be sending Homer Bailey, who, for the record, has the worst first name for a pitcher and probably in the history of baseball. But anyways, Bailey has traded off good starts and bad starts in his last 2, so we're hoping that trend continues. Homer Bailey is also sporting a 6.4 ERA since being acquired from the Athletics, and he's got a 2-to-1 walk ratio. And when you're facing a bunch of savages in the box, they usually make you pay for something like that. So tonight, we're hoping to eat from the plate of savages that the Yankees are hopefully going to be covering the win for us. They're at -125. You could also take your shot on the run line at +125. So that's what we got for today, guys. The games are going to be starting pretty soon, and I want to make sure that the viewing audience out there gets a chance to take advantage of the research that we put into these picks. Just one quick thing: if you are watching these videos and you'd like to team up with me, feel free to hit me up on Facebook Messenger. And anyways, good luck, guys.